I'm actually not mad that Nikki Haley is not dropping out of the race.
So far in the Republican presidential primary, we know that everybody has been vying for second place. Donald Trump has been the clear front runner, and at this point, baby, Ron DeSantis and his boots have clicked on the way. Tim Scott and his good old yeehaw has skedaddled up out of here. Vivek, with his annoying, condescending voice, is out of here as well, and it is left between Trump and Nikki Haley. Now, Nikki Haley has been saying that she wanted it to be a two-person race between her and Trump. And sis has gotten what she asked for. Now, last night, she lost the New Hampshire primary, which we knew that was going to happen because everyone has been vying for second place. I have never, in my neverdom, seen a competition where people are actively fighting to be in second place. Maybe that's because they actually have future aspirations to being president in what's this? If Trump get up in here, it'll be 2024. We hope he don't, but the next one is 2024. So 2028, maybe this is their way to introduce themselves to the country at large so that they have a national profile and so that people will know them and then they kind of get familiar with them over a while. If that's the case, then I get the strategy. But if you're really running for president, this just has not been it for any of the campaigns. Now, Nikki is basically getting bullied at this time. Excuse me, Nimrata. Okay, Nimrata, since she don't know nothing about racism, and racism in this country isn't a racist country. Y'all saw the clip when the lady said this country was never a racist country, and she's experienced racism, but that doesn't make the country racist. What? Wrong answer, ma'am. The country, in its inception, in its founding documents, classified people like me as 3/4 of a person, not a whole person. 3/4 of a person. The people that came here slaughtered and knocked off the indigenous. So how is it not a racist country? I guess we would have to dismiss all that, but we can't dismiss the fact that you choose to go by Nikki and not Nimrata, which a lot of politicians do. They go by their middle name, but let's not act like you not actually going by your real name is not a play to the base, is not a play to the party that you are a part of. Now, as I was saying, sis is getting bullied because Trump clearly wants this to be done. He wants to wrap up this nomination. I thoroughly suspect it's because he will continue to make claims that it is election interference if he is the Republican, if he's the Republican primary nominee or the presumptive nominee, excuse me. If he's the nominee and he's the front runner on the ticket, the number one guy, in these court cases that are still going with Tish James in civil court, Alvin Bragg with the Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen of it all, Jack Smith down there in Florida and up there in D.C., and Fonnie Willis over there in Georgia with the RICO, it's a way to legitimize the falsehood that this is somehow political. Because that's what he's been saying. That's what his allies have been saying. And I thoroughly reject it because you did the crime, you got to do the time. Now, you supposed to be charged. Y'all all about law and order. Y'all all about law and order till we get to knocking on your door. Anyway, so he wants Nikki Haley, Nimrata, to get out of the race. He went on stage, had Vivek up there, had Tim Scott up there, basically said Ron DeSantis got out and Nikki should get out. And he clearly was very nasty towards her and basically said that if, Biden wins, she'll be charged or whatever the case may be, making these innuendos that she has done something illegal when we know he's done all the illegality or the alleged illegality. And Nikki is saying, no man Pam, baby. No man Pam, I'm going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere because I'm in this race. Now, on one hand, the math ain't mathing. And a lot of people, not only, the Republican Party, the political pundits, us looking at the map, just doing simple math, can see how she actually has a path forward. She lost Iowa by 30-something points. Granted, Ron DeSantis was still in there. But then she lost New Hampshire by 11 points, right? And they have Nevada, which is some weird stuff going on in Nevada. They are having a caucus and a primary. I don't have all my facts straight right now about what's what and which one is going to count. So I'm not going to go too deep into it, but Nevada is doing something weird on the Republican side right now. And then you have Nikki Haley State in New Hampshire. Well, Trump got Tim Scott's endorsement, which Tim Scott is wait, did I say New Hampshire? Excuse me, South Carolina. They're going to South Carolina, which is Nikki Haley's home state. That's South Carolina. Now, Trump has Tim Scott's endorsement. Tim Scott is a South Carolina sitting senator, which, gag this, Nikki Haley appointed him to the seat when Tim Scott was just a congressperson. So I guess there's no love there. I mean, you couldn't even get a girl an endorsement, couldn't even help excuse me, let me not call her a girl. That could be perceived as disrespectful, which I'm not trying to be. But you couldn't even give sis an endorsement when she was the one that put you in the position that you're in. But, such is life. Trump's got him. Trump has the current sitting governor of South Carolina out there endorsing him and campaigning for him. And the South Carolina congressional delegation, so the people that are in Congress right now, endorsing Trump. So they are framing this as Nikki Haley is not popular in her own state because all the people that are in power are endorsing Trump, and everyone is saying Nikki needs to get out. It's time for the party to coalesce. But Nikki is saying no ma'am Pam. And when I tell you, I respect it. I don't fool with Nikki Haley like that. Let me be very clear. I don't fool with Nimrata, okay? I don't fool with Nimrata. But I do respect her decision to stay in the race and not be bullied. Nikki Haley has raised a lot of money, and you can say what you want to say. A lot of people are saying what they want to say about the fact that she has billionaires. She has the Koch brothers that are endorsing her and funding her campaign. That happens in every campaign. In every campaign, there are large dollar donors that are funding campaigns. So to me, that is not something to really squawk about, but it's politics. So, it is what it is. And the fact that she has run her campaign in such a way that is quite different, almost completely opposite from Ron DeSantis, because Ron DeSantis raised a lot of money and burned through millions of dollars, only to come in second place in Iowa and not even continue in the race. I know them people wish they could get their money back. I know they wish they could get their money back. And Nikki Haley called him out on one of the last debates. She was saying, you can't even run your campaign. Your campaign is always imploding. How are you going to run the country? That was a good hit. Where Nimrata, Nikki Haley, has run her campaign in such a way where she still has coin. Baby mother said, I will see you in New Hampshire. New Hampshire is like a month away from now. I think it's towards the end of February, and they just bought, the Nikki Haley campaign just bought a $4 million ad buy in why do I want to keep saying New Hampshire? I'm so sorry, in South Carolina. South Carolina is at the end of the month. New Hampshire just passed. I do not know why I am mixing those up. South Carolina, we're going to South Carolina. So Nikki is like, no man Pam, I'm not leaving. I'm going to compete in my home state. I have $4 million that I'm going to use for press or ad buy and ad spend. And I respect her for doing it because it would be easy to get out. But sister's saying, I want to compete. And everyone should be allowed to compete if they want to compete. That doesn't mean she's going to win. And there's a conversation to be had about reading the writing on the wall. However, one thing I shan't be is bullied. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it. So in that aspect, I respect her decision making in not being bullied. But Nikki, Nikki, we're not seeing it, girl. We don't see it. Trump don't see it. The Republican Party don't see it. Nobody sees it. And so I do wonder if she's banking on maybe something else will happen with Trump's court cases, that'll be so detrimental to him. Maybe she figures if I stay in this race long enough, people will get to see that there is a clear contrast between us, which I would only say the real clear contrast is, she is a woman, he's a man. Policy-wise, they are very similar. Maybe outside of supporting Ukraine, Nikki, did a stint as the UN ambassador from America. So she definitely supports Ukraine in its fight against Vladimir Putin and Russian aggression and the war. She definitely supports standing with Israel, which I'm kind of confused on where Trump really stands on it, because I don't really know where he is on the whole thing, or where he is in relation to how he views Jewish people. I don't really know. But other than that, policy-wise, they're basically like the same. They basically support the same thing. Oh, Nikki did hit him on spending. Trump did spend a lot of money when he was in office, and so she talks about the national debt and things like that. So I don't know if she is just hoping that people will see the difference in them in that way, and then also trying to make this argument of chaos follows Trump, whether fairly or unfairly, which I think is a total cop out, because it's not unfairly. He is the chaos, which is why the chaos follows. Hello, somebody. But we don't see it, Nikki. We don't see it. But, good for you for, I guess, sticking to your guns and saying, I'm going to run and I'm going to go. And these people have given me the money, so I'm going to see how it all pans out. but we just don't see it. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think that Nimrata needs to stay in the race? Or do you think she should just get out because it's basically a done deal and the writing's on the wall? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you there.